Hi y'all, and welcome to another episode of Walk the Talk with Kurt and Chelsea. Today we're actually answering a question from one of our viewers. They reached out to us and just asked, how do we manage and balance our lifestyle between work and being husband and wife, being parents, being friends, our healthy lifestyle, everything. And so we just kind of want to go into a little bit more of our thought process and how we manage our time and kind of balance our weeks out so that we are still being proactive and making progress towards our goals. But again, having that balance and having fun and living our life in the present as well.
Absolutely, and balance is so important because we can get fixated on work, kids, just getting caught up in
the distractions.
Absolutely. Yes, it's all about finding balance, and I think the first step is identifying what is actually important to you. What is the things that are really making the most impact in my life, whether it's your health, whether it is career, whether it is your family, kids, wife, husband, identifying those things that are really important to you so we can plan and manage, our days.
And what's just making you happy. So like you said, it's your priorities. And so it's really important to just dive into, what is actually the things that you want to invest your time in? What are the things that you enjoy doing and actually, want to do? We all are going to have those obligations or distractions or things that come up. Like that's life. And we're going to talk about that in a minute. But you've got to find out what your real priorities are and what's making you happy, and quit comparing yourself to the Joneses and saying, oh, well, I've got to do that because that's what they're doing and they look successful. If that's not aligning with the things that are really making you happy and your priorities, then it's not important. That's not something that you need to be doing or investing your time in just because they are.
Yep, absolutely. So once you identify what is actually important to you in your lifestyle and your family's lifestyle, then what we like to do is we always get together on Sunday evenings and we start prioritizing the week. What do I actually have to do? Whether it's meetings that we have, doctor's appointments, those things that you just can't get around. Like they're scheduled already. You have to go do them. We need to identify those. And so we do that on Sunday evenings so that way we can plan out the week ahead of time. Mm-hmm. And this allows us to, again, just kind of get an idea of what I have on my schedule, what she has on her schedule. We're collaborating, we're communicating, and really just getting that out of the way at the beginning of the week. So once it starts, we know exactly what is going on, who's got what on each day.
Yeah, I think that's really helped us, just communicating and knowing what each other is doing is super helpful because sometimes, my life gets really busy when it comes to cheerleading and the games and dance practices and whatnot, and then all the other random things that I have going on. And so when I know what he has going on too, and I can write that down in my planner, then I can organize my week around it and say, okay, well, I can lean on him to take care of dinner or taking care of Kobe or picking up Kobe or doing whatever the case may be because I know that he's free that night and I have something going on, or I know that we have conflicts going on or things going on at the same time and we need to reach out to a grandparent or a babysitter or a friend so that Kobe is taken care of as well.
Yep. So once you identify your obligations that you have to do, and once you have those scheduled out, then we can start taking a look at, okay, where do I have free time? Where do I have time that I can fit in those priorities that I have? Whether it is exercising, I need to exercise today. Where do I have free time where I can fit this in? And this is where we can really get into the things that are important to you and not letting those distractions creep in, and really, finding the free time that we have and using it to the best that we possibly can, because it's easy in those free time moments to get caught up in social media or scrolling through Facebook, taking a nap whenever you should be doing something else that is actually adding value to yourself. And so this is where we identify, okay, where can I squeeze in an extra 30 minutes here or an hour here? And that's where we start putting in those priorities that you've already identified.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and like you said, it's really important to identify those priorities because I'm betting your priority is not what everyone else is doing on Instagram, social media, or TikTok. I'm betting you have some other priorities or goals in mind that you'd rather work towards, but maybe you just haven't had that thought process like, wow, I could be using that 15 minutes and utilizing it for something, something that's really going to add value. And make sure that when you're planning out these other things, these things that are actually going to add value to yourself, and you're trying to time block that out, that you again communicate that to, if you have a partner, that partner, right? So I know that seems to be a huge conflict, but your partner doesn't know what you're trying to do, or they don't understand your goals or why you're trying to do that. So you're sitting there trying to read a book or study, and they're coming in the middle of it and they're asking you all these questions, doing all that. Like, that's super distracting, and then it's like overwhelming. Like, how am I ever supposed to get this done if I don't have any support? So let your partner know what's going on. Again, it just goes back to that communication, and say, hey, I blocked out this 30 minutes. This is my only 30 minutes out of the day to get my workout in. I'm getting it done. Or, hey, on Sunday, I'm going to block out an hour and a half to make all the meals for the week. So then every day of the week, I can really spend more time with my family and really stay invested in their ball practices or their crafts that they're doing, or anything, And so I think that that's really important. You've got to communicate with your support system of, hey, this is the time that I'm blocking out as well.
Yep, and that time blocking, that can be anything. Like I said, exercise, that's family time, that's, whenever you say family time too, putting away your phone and really focusing in on being with your family. When it's time to exercise, you are blocking out all the other distractions. You are staying focused on what you are there to do, whether it's work, whether it's exercising, whether it's spending time with your family, staying focused during those times that you have blocked out. Because again, you're managing your time to get the most out of it. So you have to stay focused. Eliminate the distractions. When it's time to work, it's time to work. When it's time to relax, it's time to relax. When it's time for family time, eliminate all the distractions and just focus on your family time. We do this with Kobe in the evenings. We pick him up from daycare 6 to 8. We eat together, dinner. We spend time with him as a family. We play, we go on walks, we go to the park and stuff. And it's time that we don't get with him during the day because he's at the babysitter. So we make sure that we block out 2 hours to make sure that we are just focused on, spending time with him as best that we possibly can.
And we also we'll remind each other, one of us our phone will ding or whatever the case may be. And, you want to answer that email, or you want to answer that text, you want to answer that phone call. Everything's so instant, and you feel like you have to be at everyone's beck and call when they try to get a hold of you, and it's not true. And so find some relief in that it doesn't have to be an urgent thing. You don't have to answer. You don't have to get right on it. Really, like you said, focus in on what it is that you're wanting to do, because you're going to find more happiness when you're investing time into those priorities. And then after that, at that 8 o'clock time, we both can get on our phones and answer the messages or reply back to whoever's trying to contact us, because we know that we already invested our time with Kobe and our family time together. And so there's not that guilt and that overwhelming frustration you get when you're trying to do it all and answer everything, and then it's 9:30 at night and you're putting your kid in bed and you're like, I didn't get to really spend time with him. I saw him do some things, but I didn't get to actually spend time because I was busy answering messages and emails and staying busy with our busy work, right?
Yep. So spending that quality time with the family. Like I said, if you're exercising, spending quality time, actually exercising, not just on your phone, making posts or taking selfies or answering emails, really just being there to actually exercise and get the most out of that time. So
he watches me too much when I take selfies during my workout.
Exactly. So yes, eliminate distractions, stay focused when it's time in that certain blocked out time that you have created. Stay focused, keep working on exactly what you should be working on.
And don't forget that this comes with sacrifices sometimes, especially when you first start. You might not be on social media anymore, or you might have to say no to, invitations to go do things. Now, I'm not saying, completely block out anything, but if you're trying to really focus on your priorities and you're trying to really time block something out, we all get those things that come into the middle of it, and where they're trying to distract us or tempt us from what we're trying to accomplish. And so, and I get this sometimes. I time block things out to to meal prep because I know on Sunday I'm going to be busy, but then I get a phone call from a friend and she wants to go out to lunch and I'm like, but I already time blocked this out. So it's okay to say no, or it's okay to say, hey, can we move the time because I have this going on too. And it comes with sacrifices, or sometimes, that's not going to work out and you're going to be like, okay, well, I'm going to have to rain check and do it another time. But it's okay because, again, you're focusing on your priorities and what you're wanting to get done, and then you can add in the other things later.
Absolutely, yeah. It can be hard to say no because we don't want to, risk putting somebody else in a bind, or risking, that person's going to be mad at me if I say no. The what if factor that always comes with, what's going to happen if I say no. But it is okay if it is something that is important to you, your priorities, whether it is, any of the things that we've already talked about. When there are priorities, at the end of the day, they are helping you and your family progress and move forward. They're helping you live the life that you actually want to live. So it is okay to say no. You don't have to say yes to everything. It's definitely okay.
Yeah, when you are happier, you're going to be a better person. And, one of my favorite Dr. Seuss saying is, those who matter don't mind, and those who mind don't matter. Yep. All right. So if you have to just be upfront and communicate the fact that, hey, I don't have time for that right now, but let's rain check and do it later because you've already prioritized something else in that spot. It's okay. Just stay focused, stay disciplined on what you're wanting to do, and then you can realign your time and your schedule later so that you can fit in everything, because life is a balance and life is hectic and busy and crazy. But if you can stay organized on what you're spending your time on and not waste it on things that you don't need to, then you're going to feel a lot more fulfilled and a lot less anxious.
Yep, absolutely. And again, like you just mentioned, identify what is important to you as a couple, as an individual, and keep moving forward. So
awesome. Well, hopefully this is helpful. Hopefully you can take some tips and tricks out of this to start organizing your time a little bit better. Again, if you have any questions, comments, leave them below. As always, like, subscribe, share with your friends, and stay disciplined. Spread health and happiness every day. Thanks, guys.